Hi there, welcome to a new episode of Behind the Lens with me, Paul. In today's episode, I'm going to continue my search for a compact camera with an interchangeable lens. So after testing the Panasonic Lumix GX880 in the previous episode, which I immediately returned, I really wasn't happy with it for the reasons that I'm explaining. In this episode, we are going to test with the same parameters, so maximum new budget €500, used 250. It needs to be an interchangeable lens, yeah, and from there, and it needs to be compact. So from there on, we'll go further. So let's see. So there you go, back again with the Sony A6000. Yes, I bought this camera because for various reasons. First of all, I bought it new. And the most important thing here is that it sports well, basically because it's built and designed for photography first and videography second. Whereas the GH4, where I'm shooting on right now, has been designed for videography first or filming, and in the second place for photography. So that's one of the main reasons. Another part is why I chose Sony, because I have a full frame, very old, an A56 I think it is, full frame camera from Sony with two lenses, Tamron lenses. Very different mount. This is an E mount, those are an A mount, but okay, I thought, why not risk it, right? You can never know if you fit it on it. So anyways, when I got this out of the box, I was, this here, I'm already happy with this. Look at that grip. That's a grip you can do something with. So compared to the LX100 who I have, fantastic camera, but a shitey grip, but also inbuilt lens. So this comes with a 1650 millimeters, on APC. Camera comes with 24 MB sensor. It also comes with NFC technology, so you can transfer your files by just holding them against the phone. Pretty awesome. So my first impression was like, wow, it actually also comes out of the box, and this is kind of cool, with a viewfinder. The viewfinder is here, but a viewfinder cap, so that's pretty okay. It also comes with a cap for the actual lens itself, for the hood, so that's pretty okay as well. What I was less pleasantly surprised about Sony, I'm serious, once this lens is off, I do not have any kind of cap. I don't. To guard my sensor here. I have to order that apparently online. Additionally, for the lens itself, there's no cap here to protect it on the bottom. I mean, seriously guys, you can't do that. It's like, no, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So with that, I've done some shooting on the camera here, This camera has one thing though, which probably a lot of videographers won't like. It only shoots at 60 frames per second in HD, full HD. So that might not appeal to everybody. When I tested this camera in the first test, I'm actually enthusiastic, which is relatively unusual for me because in general, I'm not very easy to please. If we look at the display here, this is not a touch display. So you're gonna have to do it manually with your little rotating wheel. Now, I have no problem with it because it's the same as with the LX100. So for me, that's not a big showstopper, but I can imagine for those of you, even on a tight budget, that can be a showstopper. Then there is the screen here. As you can see, it tilts, it even moves a bit forward, but that's it. So you don't have a touch screen and you don't have a screen which tilts to the side or comes above it. So if you're a vlogger or you like to do whatever it is that you're doing and you need to have your screen flipped, this is not the type of camera. Then you probably have to go to the 6100 series or 6300 series, but those come at a price point way above my budget of maximum €500. So with that, if you don't mind having full HD video, there are a few ergonomics here which I have to get used to. One of the weirdest things on this camera is the way how the memory slot is built. It's built vertically instead of horizontally, so getting this out is not always comfortable. Another part I really didn't like out of the box is you get a charger, but this is basically a phone charger. Yeah, it's got a kind of an adapter in the middle, but external ports here. Yeah, so Sony, you're not giving a battery charger. It says on the side of the box even very nice that you can order this additionally. Well, Sony, that sucks ass. Really, that does, because I've ordered them with 2 extra batteries and people almost say, oh, these are cheap. That still put me in the excess of 60 euros. So almost over my 500 euro budget. Yeah, but that said, when it comes to stills, this is a magnificent camera. Really, it is. Even after 6 years after its release date, it's gone through some updates here, I think, with the NFC, which never used to be there. So that's okay. So let's look at the stills now. So you saw the stills there, yeah? Now the most important thing about those things is that you have an interchangeable lens. So with that you can do whatever you want to. Yeah, get an adapter for an A mount like I did, which by the way is not cheap at all. Yeah, you can mount the other lenses that you have on it, or even better, you can buy some of the lenses which on the E mount, so the current mount for this camera. Yeah. So if you buy that 50mm for the E mount, you can easily pay 400, 500, 600, 700 euros, depending on where you get it. For the A mount, however, it's 300 euros. So maybe something to think about. But for you videographers out there who are obsessed with 4K, 6K, 8K, okay, I do full HD. And if I want a film camera, I have my GH4, which is made for filming. So anyways, let's now look at how this A6000 looks from a cinematic perspective. So what I've done is the most unfair comparison you can have. I filmed in my little back garden about 30 seconds of B-reel on some flowers, and I did it both with here in full HD and with the GH4 in 4K, the highest resolution I could find, Cine V on it. Yeah, all these options that this camera doesn't have, but you see the difference. But the question is it really that big a deal if you're actually going to use it for photography first and maybe have some nice simple short films in it, or maybe some gathering with your friends? That's something that you need to determine. So let's look at that.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me.
So now you've seen the differences between a camera like the A6000, which has really been developed for photographers first in 2014. Vlogging and all this kind of stuff wasn't as big as it is right now. Yeah, understandable. If you want really 4K, you should upgrade to the 6100, but I'm going to tell you that's going to cost you a couple of hundred more, and then you still have an older version. If you go to the 63 or 6500s, yeah, then you're really paying a lot more money. So you really should ask yourself, is it worth then to continue with Sony, or do you want to go, for instance, to Panasonic, or maybe Nikon, or maybe Canon, or well, Fujifilm? Who am I kidding? They're very expensive, but good. Yeah. So that's what you need to ask yourself. For this price point, I can assure you get a whole lot of bang for your buck if you buy it new. If you go secondhand, you probably, over in the Benelux, Germany, these cameras are keeping value, but in the UK and North America, you can really buy them for half that price. So guys, my tip is, if you're really photography first and you don't mind full HD, you still get pretty good footage, go for this camera. If you used to have an A-mount camera, yeah, then this could be the cheapest alternative at a mirrorless camera. People say this is a camera for beginners, and yes, probably it is, because I do know the difference between the GH4, G7 and these cameras. G7 more beginner, intermediate, GH4 more intermediate, I would say. Yeah, of course, there's far more bells and whistles. But in the end of the day, your sensors may be a big part of it, but the biggest part is your lenses. So if you're willing to spend a lot of money on lenses, yeah, you always get better footage regardless. So anyways, guys, hope you found this helpful and hope to see you next time at Behind the Lens, and you can subscribe here, there, or somewhere. Hey, have a very good day and stay healthy.